All right, we are back. We are back. This is your man DJ TJ. This is Friday Night Live. You are listening on WKTJ Reverence Radio. It is August 21st, 2020. And here is your news for this week. The Democratic National Convention has gone forth. It went from Monday to Thursday with speakers from old presidents to old candidates for presidents to other Republicans to NBA players to Obama to Kamala to Joe Biden. And it was very eventful with an ending fit for a king with outside in the parking lot supporters in their cars waving flags and fireworks in the air as Joe Biden accepted the nomination for president. Previous night on Wednesday, Kamala Harris accepted the nomination for vice president, with everyone from her sisters and friends and nieces and nephews and everyone in her family, but her mother who passed, cheering her on and supporting her in a video, which was really exciting, and it's awesome to see that she really supports a lot of the women who wants to be in a position like hers and the kids, and I enjoyed that. I really do enjoy that because I know there's a lot of young women that look up to her and will look up to her because she's in a position no one else has ever been in before. So the Democrats are making history with this nomination of her being vice president. Joe Biden has been working for this position for many, many years as a politician, and he's finally there. So we have to see what comes from this, because next week is the Republican National Convention. And of course, President Trump is not very happy with what they said and how they did what they did, and mostly what they said during this time of the convention, especially Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, and Joe Biden. So he snaps back at them at press conferences like his weight of his words is going to be heavier than what they said about him. So next week I am curious, but I'm not going to watch it. I'm curious what they're going to say and how they're going to say it against the Democrats, because they made a compelling case with how they talked about what's going on with this country. And he really can't defend a lot of his actions, but he can tell lies to make people believe the reason why he's done what he's done and what he hasn't done, because there was a lot of what he hasn't done and how he cannot fulfill his role as president, said by a number of people. And that's the whole Democratic convention. Is nothing but the delegates getting together and accepting who has been nominated, and they express why and put their 2 cents on it, put it that way. Each state had a chance to do it, and they did that. But this was all done by video. Nobody was in person, but a couple people at the end when Kamala accepted the vice president nomination, and when Joe accepted the presidential nomination, you saw some people standing by their delegate state, and then you saw people outside in the parking lot. That was the closest to a number of people being at the convention compared to the last couple of years, where it's been thousands supporting the Democratic nomination. So it's been different, but I understand why they did what they did, because usually it was going to be a lot more people, and it's not safe. It's still not safe, y'all. So take that in consideration, all right? Other than that, schools. A lot of schools trying to go back to schools. A lot of people saying it's okay, we can do this, whoa. Come to find out, they get to the school and they have to reverse what they've done. They cannot go to school. There was an outbreak. They cannot start sports. There was an outbreak. So everybody's backing up and looking at this thing once again. It's not over. Can't do it yet. So what are they gonna do? All right. So as of this week or last week, um, some high schools, even in my town, have said that they're not gonna have certain sports, but other sports will go forward. In college, the Big Ten has said that they are not going to go forward with football. And there have been protests against that. There have been colleges who have allowed freshmen and students to come back to the dorms just to get sent home, because here in Michigan State, right up the street from where I live, they have said that Michigan State will do all their classes online. Now, mind you, most of the students have come to move into their dorm rooms and have signed housing contracts. And there's a big uproar over that because now they have to either back out of those contracts or just go home and wait. So there's going to be a lot of people here just being here, or they're going to end up going back home, which I don't think they're going home is going to be happening, because it might cost more money to go back home than it would to be to post up here and wait for them to make a decision on when students can return. So that's the hardship they face. Younger kids, there are states that are still trying to send younger kids back to school. I don't understand. I just know it's not safe. It's still not safe, and it has not been safe all year. You also talk about even if we get a vaccine, it still will not be safe for this country to get back to normal. Just because we have a vaccine doesn't mean that the disease is defeated or it's over with. Well, I don't know what to say about that, because people don't want to act right when it comes to masks. People don't want to act right when it comes to social distancing. There is a lot going on in this country right now where it seems like none of that really matters, because we 9 out of 10 times already have the virus. It's all about your body response. I keep saying that. I know I do. For those of you who listen, those of you who have never heard me before, I've been saying this for weeks now, probably months. Your body responds differently. Everybody is different. We 9 out of 10 times already had or have the virus because of non-social distancing or no mask or just being out in public, period. It's in the air thick like that. And if it can get in your eyes and itch your eyes and all this kind of stuff, and nobody's coughing and whatever, it's in the air. It's spreading just airborne, period. People don't realize that. So with that being said, since we all have it and we all have been quarantined, now it's all about the antibodies this and the antibodies that. And if you are immune to it, or you have the antibodies or whatnot, to just keep going no matter what, because it's not affecting you like it is others, young, old, or indifferent. So this thing has just gotten out of hand, and I'm ready for it to be over with. But according to the World Health Organization, like I said, getting a vaccine does not mean it's over. So what will make it be over is if we all wear masks, we also social distance, and we all take the vaccine. Then and then only will it be available to us to be over with, according to the World Health Organization. And he said that can be as soon as tomorrow. You never know. If people cooperate and do what they're supposed to do, then this could be over with before we know it. But people don't want to do right. So we're stuck until we're stuck. And people really don't care if they get it. People don't care if they spread it. That's why this election is just, I don't get it. Why would we even try to have an election during the pandemic? People are still dying. There are still people that cannot get into the hospital. There are people who still do not know that they have it. There are still people who cannot go back to work. There are still people who are losing their homes. There are still people who cannot eat. There are still children who cannot go back to school. There are still children who cannot eat. So there's a number of things wrong with this, and there still has not been an agreement on Capitol Hill with Congress between the Republicans and the Democrats. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and all the good ones out there, Mitch McConnell and the president and whatnot, have not come to an agreement, but the Republicans have agreed to a skinnier deal. That which does not include stimulus checks, but it includes a number of things that they have not been able to agree on, or they did agree on, and they've come down in price to make it under $1 trillion. Which is interesting because I do not know and have not heard how the Democrats feel about this new proposal, aka the skinny deal. I have not heard about it. So this has gone forward and is supposed to be voted on tomorrow, which is Saturday, and go from there. But they have to get to emphasize whether or not they're going to include the stimulus checks so people get money and stimulate the economy. If it's not passed, then we are no farther than we were last week or the week before that. So they're coming up with things to end this financially problems, but then they also have to vote on the budget, which we all know last year there was a shutdown, or the year before that there was a shutdown, the year before that there was a shutdown. So all these shutdowns, and yet we cannot come to an agreement to help the American people during a pandemic. We did it earlier in March, but we can't do it now. So only time will tell what we decide and what they decide to do, because this is out of hand and nobody wants to come to the table and just say, let's get it done. The president has come to the table with an executive order to cancel and handle 4 different things that was not proposed or was proposed and could not be agreed upon. And it has no weight. The Supreme Court has agreed that Donald Trump has to share the information due to his taxes, and he will fight this, as he has said on Twitter. So there you have it. That is the news for this week in a nutshell. There have been a number of fires also in California that have killed 6 people, including someone in a helicopter/plane trying to put the flame out with water. The plane went down, and he was a father of 4. And not only that, they still have not convicted Breonna Taylor's killers. That's going forth in court, and there's still protests going on in Oregon. And that is your news. So I will be right back with the new song of the week, and we will let you know what that is when I return. Stay right there. Don't move a muscle. We will be right back.